right, man. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakak. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone who rule and teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing his truth into the four winds. Keep pushing Akim. Man, we almost out of here, man. Before I start, let me just get the technicality out of the way. All right. We do things uniform and we do things according to order. All right. Last week I taught in the country and I think I left my garment out there. So I've been looking for my garment for the last X amount of however long. And for me to not teach just because I don't have my garment is insane. Okay. I am the garment and the garment is in my heart, man. And the garment is symbolic. But, you know, we want to do things in order. The elders had their garments. We should have ours. I lost mine. If I can't find it, I'll make another one, okay? Let's get it, bro. So, 2025. Everybody claims to have the truth. What is the determining factor that's going to show if this person actually has the truth versus this person that claims to have the truth and how? Let me get a precept. Revelation 22:7. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. It boils down to prophecy. Okay? I don't care how much knowledge a person claims to have. I don't care how high social or hierarchy this person has climbed, and no matter how good he knows systems. Okay? And people know systems, and by you knowing systems, you can see when this system is starting to come down. But that's you using your carnal mind versus prophecy. And that's why the scripture said, basically in the book of Acts, he's going to pour his spirit out. Well, no, I can't use that terminology. And that's why the scriptures say, I forgot exactly what book it is, but it says, the children of dark, right? In these time periods are wiser than the children of light because they understand systems because their parents created these systems. All right. Okay. So going back into prophecy. So prophecy is going to be the determining factor to differentiate who has the truth and who thinks they have the truth. Let me get a precept real quick before I get detailed. 1 minute. Matter of fact, I know that book. I don't have to. And some people think they had a truth that don't even teach. Here we go. This is Matthew 24:4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no deceive you. So we're living in deceitful times. I mean, come on, but we're living under the rulership, and not just that. From 0 to 18, the tutelage, we're basically being taught by this devil. Okay, smart people know the word I'm trying to find. I can't. I'm telling you. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. So you're going to have a lot of people coming claiming to have the truth because the mainstream narrative is clearly full of crap. The Bible, the way that it was taught to us by Christian pastors, it'll make you hate it. So that opens up avenues for other truths to come into place. Okay? And there's no limit to them, bro. All right? Of course, you got the Christians. This is America. You have the Muslims. You have the atheists. You got the conscious community. Fucking idiots. You have the so-called Jews, Buddhists, Egyptologists, Cometians, people that worship nature, ancestry worship, Gnosis, uh, the esoteric version of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Uh, they don't have the truth. But it's easy for somebody that's not rooted and grounded and don't have an understanding and actually took heed to that education that was forced upon us from the ages of 0 to 18, you're going to follow these lies that the scriptures warn you to not follow without having to get into any of them specifically. For many shall come in my name saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. So you're deceived in your beliefs. Okay? At the bottom of the barrel, in my opinion, you have the atheists, right? And then you have the Abrahamic religions, the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jews. They laugh at the atheists because they're proof. And on top of the Abrahamic religions is the esoteric version of it. Basically going into Rosicrucians and Masonry and ancient higher rites. They're laughing at the Christians the way that they're laughing at the Christians, Muslims, Jews, the way that the Christians, Muslims, and Jews are laughing at the atheists. Because on their level, they don't believe the Bible to be literal. They don't believe the Quran to be literal. They look at the characters as archetypes to the human body, to the heavens, and certain energy practices, and energy works, breathing techniques, and things of that nature. Okay, and it all goes back to the same thing. It's been nothing new is under the sun. The Masons, they do the things that they do. Their names. All right, this is a do god. This is a sign. Then you look over to the the East Indians, and they'll tell you that it's a mudra. Okay, but it's gonna be the same signs. I'm not gonna throw up no mudras. I'm not gonna throw up no Masonic signs. I teach Masonry. I teach the truth. I don't teach yoga. I teach the truth. But I read about these things in the name of defending the truth. Okay, and then you have the people higher up on top of the Masons, the Rosicrucians, and these secret orders and rites that's laughing at them. A lot of Masons don't know, right? A lot of your average Masons, they think that the Blue Lodge and the Scottish Rite up to the 33rd degree is as high as you can go. No, no, it's not. And when you get into these higher rites, it's stuff that's going on that's even strange to you. And you know what you did in the Blue Lodge. So you open-minded. So it's things that's going on in these higher orders. Like, I want to say this, the 96th degree, something, the Mizraim degree, the sublime prince of the royal secret. Look it up. Okay? They laughing at you. And above them, they got somebody laughing at them. And all of you people proclaim to have the truth. Crazy work. And guess who's laughing at all of you people? The people that actually do have the truth. Let's get a precept on that real quick. One minute. I'm gonna come back to that scripture. I'm Salaki. It's very, very, very simple. It's a scripture that I know is at the tip of my tongue, and it really bothers me, but it is what it is, and that's why you have to stay sharp. But it's only one truth, bro. The truth has no enemies. It's only one truth. Everybody can't have the truth. Contrary to what the so-called elites teach, all religions do not equal to the same source. Let's get a precept on that real quick. Let's get a few precepts on that, all right? All right. Exodus 19:5. Now, therefore, he's talking to the nation of Israel. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above, for all the earth is mine. Okay, so he's making a differentiation between a certain ethnic group of people. Okay, that's strike one against your different, all of you doctrines, because y'all basically teach universalism. The scriptures don't. Now, this is in the Old Testament, all right? Let's reading. This is First Peter, New Testament, 2:9. But ye are a royal, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. He's still dealing with a certain group of people, right? That's being recognized by their ethnicity, what the Bible called nationality, and what you people call race. But we're all the same, right? Keep on reading. That ye should show forth praises of him who have called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light. Now, we know being in the darkness is being separated from Yahweh Shem Yahushai and being separated from your culture. That's simply what in the darkness means. Not knowing who you are. These people that proclaim to have the truth, they say being in the darkness is not being aligned with them and their teachings. Okay? And that's me without having to go into details. Let me keep on going. Got another precept I'm going to get. In the New Testament, because somebody got to be telling the truth and somebody got to be lying, man. This is Romans 1, and I'm going to start from the top. Paul, Apostle Paul, a servant of Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, which he had promised afore by his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. See, first and foremost, it's nothing that you can do to twist prophecy, right? You can have all the mystical experiences that you think you're having. You can hypnotize your followers and have them thinking that they're tasting the true light. You can show them symbols that show up in their subconscious. And that goes back into ancient times that predates this Eurocentric view of things. But you'll never touch on prophecy because you can't. Okay? Our people are being fed poison by the original liar, the original devil, the original con man, the original swindler, the original fugitive. And he thinks he has the truth. Poor Jake. Jake get a little tingling and feeling sensation in his body, and he thinks he has the truth. He sees something behind his eyes, following certain techniques, and he think he has the truth. You're hypnotized. You got niggas in jail that go through the same experience, but they didn't denounce the Lord. They didn't do a whole lot of other things in the name of securing the light. And that's when I says you got Christians laughing at crackheads, Masons laughing at Christians, higher level Masons and real power structures as far as this world go laughing at Masons, and a few people laughing at the ones that's laughing at the Masons, man. And all of y'all are laughing at us, and we at the top of the totem pole because y'all are deceived. Okay, and we still have humility. We're still humble. For us to come out and do the things that we're doing shows humility, and it shows humbleness. Because the information that we have, we're supposed to be puffed up, and we're supposed to be calling out all of y'all bullshit. And even further than that, we're supposed to show you that we know things that you think that we're not supposed to know. But we're here for the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and we're not making it about us. That's where a lot of people fall off at. Okay? They too stuck to their egos. When you come up here, right? When you prepare to come serve the Lord, before your feet touch the ground, before your boots hit the ground, you got to have that ego death. That ego has to go. This is not my message. This is the Lord's message. What Yahweh Shah said, who the word ignorantly called Jesus Christ. It's not my words. This is my Father's words who sent me. Huh? No ego. Hanging up on that cross. The scripture says he could have called down a legion to deliver him and show all of these people who he is. He had to went through that spiritual transformation of death of ego, man. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this. The truth and some of those lies speak similar languages, but they got different meanings. Okay? Lies have to counterfeit the truth, bruh. We don't speak the same language. I understand your language, but you could never understand mine. And prophecy is one of the biggest reasons why. Okay? Crackheads. And when I say that, man, let's just be honest, man. I ain't tripping on losing no channel and making friends. Crackheads, junkies, and people that can't control themselves. These base motherfuckers that just say, fuck work, fuck a job, fuck my family, fuck four walls and a roof. They still got a certain spirituality with them. You give them $1, you give them 25 cents, they start preaching to you. Okay? So they think they got the truth. You can't judge me, man. You know, shit, I might be down and out, but shit, you never know when you're entertained an angel, man. They say I'm homeless. I ain't homeless. I got a home. I just ain't got a certain building. You know, they say that the church. So he think he got the truth. And the person that's giving him relief, the person that's giving him money, the person that's feeding him, they think they got the truth. Your regular 9-to-5ers, Christians that go to your regular Christian, Methodist, Baptist, or whatever denomination, they feel like they got the truth. And then the esoteric versions of them and up and up and up. None of them have the truth. And you know what? They know that they can't agree with one another, but they do it anyway. And they'll find more common ground in their disbeliefs, and they'll team up against the people that actually have the truth. All groups of those people who have no room to laugh at the men of the Lord, they laugh at the men of the Lord when they hear this message. The higher ups, the ones that totem pole that laugh at all of y'all, they not laughing at it. They trying to figure out how to get us out the fucking way. Again, prophecy. Let's get that prophecy. Matthew 24:7. For a nation shall rise against nation. You're going to have race wars coming. Nobody is saying these things. Now you have people that understand the system, the children of darkness, that's seeing these things coming. But no religious groups and sects are saying any of these things, man. They don't even know that the word nation in the King James version of the Bible, is actually talking about race. Okay? And kingdom against kingdom, literal. You can say country against country in today's terms. And there should be famines, it's coming, and pestilences. We saw the one that happened in 2020, but you got some most serious ones that's really going to knock the breath out your body that's coming up. And earthquakes in diverse places. And earthquakes represents seismic activity. So earthquakes and volcanoes, man. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and kill you, and shall kill you. Why they not trying to kill the crackhead preacher? Why they not trying to kill the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims? Why they not trying to kill the Masons that masquerade as Jews, Muslims, and Christians? Why they not trying to kill the people that's over the Masons? And the ones that's over the Masons, when you get higher up, that's the ones that understand who we are. And they're the ones that's trying to take action. And it's gonna take action because they have the power to take action. And it, by default, it shows who they are and it shows who we are. Okay? Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All nations going to all races. Okay? For the Lord's name's sake. You know what else it goes into? All of those fake belief systems, they can agree on one thing. That those black Hebrew Israelites, particularly the ones that's educated, taught, and learned on the Great Millstone, we hate them. They can push their differences aside to say that, you know what, those are not the men of the Lord. Let's get them. Let's get them. And legislation to come into play, laws to be changed. Then you have playing cards with the prophet's heads on. Okay? And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. You're going to have brothers that's going to fall out. You're going to have brothers that's going to sell brothers out. You're going to have brothers that's going to choose the world over the truth. And ultimately, they are not brothers. Because the scripture says, he who finishes the race is a brother. He who finishes the race is signed, sealed, and delivered. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure until the end, smoking, the same shall be saved. So you have to fight until the end, man. All right, starting with the elders on down, you have to fight until the end, and then you'll be able to see prophecy get unrolled, layer upon layer of prophecy getting peeled back, to where even that crackhead gets, that preacher crackhead, those Christians, Jews, Muslims, those Masons that's masquerading as Christians, Jews, Muslims, those higher ups, the order of Mizraim and the 90 degrees and things of that nature, and the ones above them. Okay? There's only one group at the top that knows the truth. So they don't have to come to the realization of the truth. Right? You don't have it. Can't get around it. You don't have it. But you think you do. And that's what the scriptures call proud. And the scripture says he hates the proud. And he's going to destroy the proud. Because you're talking like you know that 2 + 2 = 5. And you're enforcing it as if it's law. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to reject you. And your teachings are going to be proven to be lies. Because the earth is going to swallow up these lies, man. You're going to have different people from your own creed, from your own organizations. You're going to have other nations that be like, you know what? F that agreement that we made in the past. Because they did make an agreement in the past. They changed their names, their biblical names, and they changed a lot of world histories. A lot of shit went down after 1492, right? A lot. And I'm talking about secular history, right? But secular history is prophecy. And that's why you have to know them both equally. You have to merge them together, balanced, so that you're able to go out and teach these things. Pull out these scriptures, pull up these books, show the wicked where they're wrong, show the righteous they have nothing to be ashamed about, and keep that cycle going until it's time to get picked up out of this place, right? I can tell you what that crackhead and what those Christians do have, right? We are waiting on side of an outside entity to come and deliver us and come save us, man. Is the kingdom of heaven within? Heavens, yes. Is the light of the Lord inside of us? Heavens, yes. But is Yahweh Shem Yahushai an archetype that's symbolic to a personification? Heavens, no. He's just as real as this grass, as this phone, as your phone. He's just as real as you. Okay? And that light that you see in that inner temple, that's not the light that's connected to the original architect of the world, man. That light that you see in your inner temple is no different than that light you saw when you got knocked out in the 8th grade, man. And you were hypnotized into it. I know what y'all saw. That's why you are so apt to stand up and be faithful, because you feel like you're better than the Abrahamic beliefs. They believe and you know, because you experience and you feel, right? Everything that glitter ain't gold, traveler. Okay? Everything that glitter ain't gold. Just because you have a couple of truths within your belief system doesn't mean that you can hang your salvation up on it. A broke clock that's stuck at 12 o'clock is right twice every 24 hours. But if you had to go to work and your household was dependent on it, would you go with that? Let me get some more precepts. Matthew 6 and 22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Now, what you taught is a single eye is different than what people in this truth know that to be. Okay? Your secrets are not secret, bro. You were led into something that basically just looks good and it tastes good. Just like your average person that goes to church claiming to be a Christian and things of that nature. Look, man, you can do what the hell you want to do. Come to church once a week, give us a couple of dollars. When you die, you go to heaven. You were sold a similar dream. You just get to feel you get to feel a little bit more. But what you think is spiritual is physical. Our body is a science. Okay? You close certain circuits, certain things gonna happen. That don't mean it's spiritual. Okay? So How was the body full of light? You start off with the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That aligns you with him. Okay? Then he starts to open up experiences to you, things that you actually walk through and see that backs up the things that you believe in. And prophecy is the cherry on top. You can tell world events, not little singular local shit. You can tell world events prior to them happening. Watch this and write this shit down. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is the source of this information, not Yadayah in Baton Rouge. Okay? Very, 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 very soon. It's going to take about $100 a day just to feed you. Very, 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 very soon. Martial law is going to be incorporated around every major city. Okay? You're not going to be able to get in that city. You're not going to be able to get out of that city unless you know somebody or unless the Lord is with you. Race wars are going to run rapid from the city to the country. Something is going to happen to the animals. Something is going to happen to the water supply, to where even the survivalist is going to have a hard time. See, this is prophecy. Huh? Do you get this information in the inner chamber? Do you get this information in the light, in the north gate? No, you don't, because the light isn't what you think it is. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. Let me get a precept on this darkness so we can understand what darkness is. In this precept, that's what's called a precept. In this precept, Isaiah 60 and 2. Let's start at the top. Isaiah 60. Again, this is a prophecy. Something that you people don't know nothing about. You don't have prophecy, bruh. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. Darkness represents anything that goes against truth and anything that goes against the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And just to show you that our light and our darkness is different, let me give you an example. You people can eat what you want to eat, right? If we eat pork and it's part of our diet, you're living in gross darkness. So we're not the same, even though we have the same words. But these words have different definitions, vibrations, consonants, and all that, man. Now, I don't mean to say consonants, but they have different meanings and they have different spiritual vibrations. Okay? And they're symbolic to us in one way as it's symbolic to you in another way, but it's not the same. I know what your darkness means, and it's not the truth. Now, darkness is multifold. I will agree with that. Okay? And your definition of darkness on multifold levels is true. A man operating on his primordial, or basically operating as a brute beast, he's in darkness. Operating on eating, sleeping, and shitting, and just feeding yourself and having no spirituality or no awareness of spirituality. You're right. That's darkness. The devil took that from us. And we understand that darkness in different scriptures, precepts, have different meanings. All right? The scripture says, knowing how to rightly divide the scripture, right? And y'all people are lied to. Knowing how to. I'm not going to get into that. All right. So it says, and gross darkness to people. How are the people in gross darkness? Men and women are equal. A man can be with a man. You don't judge him. We can eat what we want to eat. Um, Bro, it's just too many different examples of simple things. And these people they argue so hard they'll kill you over it. A man comes out of his mother's vagina, right? Nature. He turns 20. He decides he's a woman. And you people accept it and you call him a miss and you design laws to protect him. And you penalize anybody that stays and acknowledges nature, right? Gross darkness. Gross darkness. You got gay Masons, gay Christians, gay Muslims. The people at the top of all of y'all that rule y'all, all of them motherfuckers gay. That's what they like. They have sex with women just to keep their family line going. So what's your measuring stick? Where your righteousness come in at? You have sex with who you want to have sex with. You eat what the hell you want to eat. You pray to yourself. You pray to a white dude with blue eyes and blonde hair. You pray to an Arab. Another race of people that you can never be. You can't convert to another race. And I'm using the word race in the place of nation because that's what you understand. You people are sick, man. Drag queens coming to elementary schools, to these young, impressionable minds. The whole system is set up for the masses to be in gross darkness and to die in gross darkness. 5 years old. That's the age that they take your children away from you and send them to school. And that's the age that the daddy stops being the example. He stops being the hero. And whoever the masses follow, that's who your child now follows. Huh? It's all about design. And guess who set up this system? Certain groups of people that's laughing at other groups of people that's getting laughed at by the true prophets, bro. Come on, man. Can't make this up, bro. Salaki, 1 second. I got a precept for that too. Here we go. This is 2 Timothy 3:12. Yeah. And all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. So you know you have the truth when people label your beliefs as a cult, and it's just a whole bunch of wicked things. And all of these people that don't believe and agree with one another can all agree that the thing that you believe in is the devil. Okay? So that's one of the main determining factors as far as who determining who's who. The truth is going to be persecuted. Everybody else are going to be the persecutors. But evil men, here we go. This is the meat. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. So the higher up that you people get in your belief system, the worse you're going to become, man. We don't got to get in the details. Huh? Deceiving and being deceived. So you laughing at somebody that you're teaching, right? Down south, a lot of, and I'm talking about Jake, I'm talking about Israel, I'm talking about the so-called black man. That's what we here for, right? Right? We here for the whole, for the northern tribe and the southern tribe, but the southern tribe is what's present here. The majority of you Christian southern pastors are Masons, and this scripture is talking about you deceiving and being deceived. So you come to church preaching Jesus Christ, preaching Paul, preaching the 12 disciples. But these are symbols and allegories to something else in your true belief. But you're teaching these people that you look at as dummies that is literal, right? And that's why the scripture says deceiving and being deceived. Those people, okay? The people that taught you from something called a Eurocentric perspective. So before they gave you these tools, these lost words, they conditioned you to accept the teachings that they're attached with them and the origins of these things and symbols, man. And you accepted them. And then you carry your happy ass out into the world thinking that you're a God amongst men. And you go out and you teach these religions that in your head you know to be false. Okay? So this scripture's for you, man. Hey, but they say this bud's for you. Here we go. We're not finished neither. Watch this. All of those books, y'all do a lot of reading. 2 Timothy 3 and 7, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. One book leads you to another. Then that other one leads you to 3 more. And then those 3 lead you to 10 more. And you say that this is a journey. Okay? I'm polishing this stone. Okay? From ashlar to a perfect cut stone. Take a whole lot of reading and studying. And other things too. Watch this. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. These are the pastors. They don't believe what they're teaching you. You don't think they're going to sleep with you? These are the people that have these organizations and these charities at the hospitals. You look up to these people and you're appreciative of these people because you think that they're healing your children, and they manipulate you and deceive you. And the same thing is happening to them. They're not special. A devil is a devil. Verse 9, but they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. When prophecy comes, and there's no food and there's no water, race wars and all of these things happen, and your light didn't show you that, you're going to have a true understanding that you were also misled. And you're also going to have enough understanding to know that it's too late. Because your understanding is way better than your average Joe. Okay? Because a lot of truths have been incorporated into the thing that you fell for. And a science has been incorporated into what you fell for. And that's the biggest thing, is what you saw. You feel like you had a mystical experience. It can be replicated because it's a science. You could have had a mystical experience from a dream, from a punch, from a scripture. Okay? You didn't have to denounce the Lord. You didn't have to, I'm not going to say all that, bro. Thou, people in this truth, people that have this truth, okay? Great millstone on down. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me, man. Yeah, and all that would live godly in Hamashiach, Yahushai, shall suffer persecution. Now, when these niggas get raised, and I'm not going to even tell you what raised in, because I don't teach masonry, I teach the truth, right? When these niggas get raised, hold on 1 second. Yeah. And all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. When these niggas get raised, they come into a phase that they call suffering. Nah, that ain't the persecution that the Bible talking about. Okay? You're going to have troops on the ground, and they're going to get physical, man. All right? This ain't no metaphorical or metaphysical bullshit that Esau tricked you with, man. Prophecy will be the determining factor. Prophecy will be the measuring stick. Prophecy will determine who's right and who's wrong. Prophecy will make you jump ship at the right time if he's dealing with you. Okay? A few people will be saved out of that place. A few people will understand what the true shallow grave is and what it really means to be pulled out of it. Okay? It's gonna be bigger than just you. It's a national thing. A whole nation is in the shallow grave, and you worried about your own self. But you do have to start with self in this truth before you can go out and help somebody else. Okay? But that so-called little civic duty you get after you so-called see the light, man. Talking to you, so-called black man. You just don't know, bruh. And you're gonna suffer being proud, being a nigga, and being misled in the process of misleading. Okay? With that though, I wanna first and foremost, I hope that this was edifying to somebody, even if it's just one soul. But I want to give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Harakwakwadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone who rule to teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing this truth into the four winds. Keep pushing, Akim. We almost out of here, man. Kwame Asherala, ball. Next time, man.